The food.
Improve the dorms.
The food is terrible.
The food.
No cigarettes.
I'd say parking. There's not a lot of spots for the commuters, so definitely got to improve that. The food sucks.
I would have to say the dorms because in the summer it's like unbearably hot, and like in the hot months it's just so bad. Yeah.
Alright, I would say one thing Rowan can improve is better avenues for underclassmen to get involved in the university. I know there are a lot of opportunities, but I feel like at some other institutions they do things such as hallway government and things like that where students can actually get hands-on experience with leadership right off the bat.
Everything.
The internet.
Parking.
What do you think can be improved at Rowan?
I think that one of the main things that can be improved at Rowan is helping students graduate on target in the 4 years. I know that sometimes schools don't have the best percentage of graduation rates in 4 years, but that's something that we can definitely improve on.
Yeah, I have to agree with her only because of the reason that, like, I'm not trying to, like, play games, like a card here, but like especially in the education department, it's really hard. Like it's supposed to be a 4-year program, ends up being 4.5, 5. So I think like if advisors help out their students know what classes they should take every semester and whether they should be up to date their sophomore, junior, senior year, they'd probably benefit a lot more.
Thank you.
What is the worst thing about the Rowan parking?
Well, where do I begin? I mean, first of all, there's never a spot when I get there. You have to leave a half hour early just to get a spot that you have to walk 20 minutes from your car just to the front of the building. And second of all, if you have a late class and you got to walk back to your car at night, #scary. I mean, give me a break. It freaks me out every time. I feel like I'm going to be murdered in the place. And it's just so freaking busy. I almost got hit by a car 2 times in this parking lot. And it's just horrible. I mean, it's too big and it's too crowded. The cars, the spaces are just too close together. I mean, I feel like I'm going to rub up against the car that I park next to. And then you got to do the thing where you try to shimmy out of your door because you have to park so close. So you get your door open a crack and you got to, like, paper thin it out of the car. And, then you're parked so far away anyway, and when I try to check if there's a space available on my iPhone, there's no Wi-Fi. I can't connect to the parking server because it's all clogged up with parked cars already. Come on!
What do you think they could improve about the parking at Rowan?
They could improve the amount of spaces available because there are none. There are never any spots open. Like, you could build a freaking parking garage and then everyone would be happy because you wouldn't have to leave your house like a bajillion hours early to get to your class because you're looking all around trying to find a parking spot and there aren't any. It sucks.
Do you have to pay to park?
Yeah, and it's a lot of money, and even though it's year-round, the cost that you have to pay for a parking spot doesn't really factor into that you can never find a parking spot.
It's like a parking overhaul. I drive a jalop, and there's not even any filling stations. The parking passes are non-transferable, and sometimes my mom drives me to school, and she has no place to park.
Rowan, it's a great school, but every time I try and get there and park, there's just no spots. There's not a single one to be had!
My parents fell in love in the Rowan parking lot, and I never even see girls there. It's like a sausage fest these days. There's not enough curbs. I can't read, and they need to have audible street signs so I know where I'm going. There needs to be watchtowers.
Do you believe the athletic facilities at Rowan need some improvement?
Yeah, I believe that places like this locker room could be improved a little bit. The lockers are kind of small. There's not a lot of place for people to sit and change. It's kind of cramped in here. The benches are not very adequate.
I would agree 100%. Also, I would like to ask you about the trainers. Have you ever been injured or been in the trainers recently?
Yeah, I hurt my hip, and some of the equipment there is not really adequate for getting healed and doing therapy. There's not a lot of benches, there's a lot of teams in there at one time. It's kind of hard to get work done and be ready for practice.
I hate it!
Thank you, Paul.
No problem.
I'm Jesse Novak. I'm on the swim team here at Rowan. I'm going to show you around the locker room. You saw the basketball one. It's very nice compared to ours. You see the lockers are significantly smaller than the basketballers. And our bench is very old. And I remember for the first half of the year we didn't have one of the lights working. So it was like a dungeon in here. That's our locker room.
I hate it!
And these are the inside of the lockers. See, they're maybe like a foot, actually not even, they're like 8 inches wide. And you gotta fit your shoes, all your clothes, a towel, a bag, athletic shoes too, so like when you run, dryland clothes, your swimsuit, your goggles, any inhaler you have, your water bottle, all has to go in there. It doesn't work out. That's our showers. The swim team's in here all the time. And you think like we have a lot of showers, but actually the only ones that work are these 3, and this one works, and this one works. All the other ones are broken. So, we have 32 people on the swim team.
I hate it!